The Galactic Council had many rules about humans. They were fragile, emotionally unstable, and entirely unsuited for military zones. When Rhea Solon arrived at Outpost Kivarath as the new civilian engineer, the Xanthari garrison treated her appointment as a bureaucratic joke. Commander Tarek watched from his command tower as the human shuttle landed. The Xanthari were apex predators, 8 feet of corded muscle, retractable claws, and reflexes that could track a photon beam. Humans were soft, weak, their bite force was pathetic, their claws non-existent, and they lacked even basic environmental armor plating on their skin. "Sir, the human is requesting access to the engineering bay," his second-in-command reported. Mandibles clicking with barely concealed amusement, Tarek's tail lashed once. "Granted. Keep security protocols active." He didn't expect problems. Humans were harmless. Rhea Solon had heard it all before. Too weak. Too emotional. Too human. She'd stopped trying to prove herself through words years ago. Now she simply worked. The outpost power systems were a disaster. Xanthari engineers prioritized brute force solutions over elegance. Within her first week, she'd improved efficiency by 17%. The warriors noticed when their weapons charged faster, when the environmental system stopped fluctuating. But they still didn't trust her. The change began with the cubs. Xanthari protocol prohibited younglings in military zones, but Outpost Kivarath served as a forward defensive position near the colony world of Xanth Prime when emergencies arose. Exceptions were made. 3 cubs barely past their naming ceremonies had been brought to the outpost when their settlement faced potential evacuation. Rhea first encountered them in Corridor 7, huddled together outside the engineering bay. Their scales hadn't fully hardened yet, still showing the softer modeling of youth. The smallest one clutched something against its chest. "Hello," Rhea said softly, crouching to their level. A dangerous move with Xanthari showing your throat was either submission or stupidity. "Are you lost?" The cub's eyes widened. They'd clearly never seen a human up close. The largest cub Rhea would later learn his name was Kes stepped forward with the wobbly confidence of youth. "You are the human engineer?" "I am." Rhea Solon, the smallest cub, Pyrrha, extended her small clawed hand. In it lay a broken metal, the Star of Valor, one of the Xanthari military's highest honors. The chain had snapped, and the central star had cracked clean through. "It was our sire's," Kes explained, his voice tight. "He fell defending the colony last season. We broke it, playing." The confession came with shame radiating from all 3 cubs. In Xanthari culture, ancestor metals were sacred. Rhea took the broken pieces carefully. "May I try to fix it?" Pyrrha's eyes shimmered, the Xanthari equivalent of tears. "The warriors said it cannot be repaired. The star metal is too difficult to work." "Well," Rhea said, standing, "I'm not a warrior. I'm an engineer." "We see problems differently." Commander Tarek heard about the incident from his security chief. "The human has the cubs in her workshop. They've been there for 3 hours, every protective instinct in Tarek's body ignited. And you permitted this?" "Sir, the cubs went willingly. They appeared ... content." "Content?" Tarek's claws extended involuntarily. He'd lost his own sibling group to a raid when he was their age. Cubs were precious, vulnerable, sacred. And this human, he was moving before conscious thought finished forming. Tarek burst into the engineering bay expecting chaos. Instead, he found Rhea at her workbench, using a molecular welder with precision that made his combat-trained eyes ache. The cub sat nearby, watching with rapt attention as she narrated each step. "The trick with star metal," she explained, "is that it remembers its original form. You can't force it. You have to convince it." The smallest cub, Pyrrha, noticed him first. "Commander, the human is fixing Sire's metal." Rhea looked up, unfazed by his sudden entrance. "Almost done. The molecular bonds are re-establishing now." Tarek watched, speechless, as she completed the repair. When she finished, the metal looked untouched. No, better than untouched. The crack had been sealed so perfectly that the star metal had actually strengthened along the break line. She handed it to Kes with a gentle smile. "Your sire would be proud." "Not of the metal of you 3? You honored his memory by trying to preserve it, and you honored yourselves by seeking help when you needed it." The cubs clustered around the metal, chirping with joy. They embraced Rhea, a shocking gesture of trust before racing out to show the other warriors. Tarek remained, studying this small human who'd done what his best military engineers claimed was impossible. "Star metal is extremely difficult to repair," he said finally. "Yes, but difficult isn't impossible." She began cleaning her tools. "You were worried about the cubs, I understand. But I wouldn't have hurt them." "I know," the admission surprised him. "I watched the security footage. You handled them with perfect protocol, better than some of our own warriors." Rhea's laugh was soft. "I may not have claws or armor plating, Commander, but I understand what matters. Those cubs lost their father. They needed someone to tell them they hadn't failed him." The story spread through the outpost like wildfire. The human who repaired what Zenthari engineers couldn't. The human who honored a fallen warrior through kindness to his cubs. 3 days later, Tarek found Rhea in the engineering bay again. This time she had company, a dozen warriors, each carrying broken equipment, damaged armor, fractured weapons. Things they'd been told were beyond repair. "I apologize for the assumption," Tarek said, watching her work. "We judged your species as weak." "We were wrong." Rhea looked up, one eyebrow raised. "I am weak, Commander. At least by your physical standards. I can't regenerate damage like you. Can't survive in hard vacuum for 30 seconds. Can't punch through a steel bulkhead." "Then how?" "Humans survive differently." She returned to repairing a plasma rifle's focusing array. "We don't have claws, so we made tools. We don't have armor, so we made allies. We're not the strongest or the fastest or the most durable, but we're very, very good at fixing what's broken and protecting what matters." Tarek's respect grudging at first had transformed into something else. Understanding, perhaps. That night, he filed a report with the Galactic Council requesting permanent human engineering support for all Zenthari military outposts. In the recommendation section, he wrote, "Predators are defined by their ability to survive. By this measure, humans are the most dangerous predators in the galaxy. They simply hunt differently than we expected." 3 weeks later, when the Cubs presented Rhea with an honorary Zenthari Guardian Medalla recognition given only to those who protect the young Tarek stood witness. The medal was small in her human hands, but its meaning was infinite.